Hey, good morning, fellow fantasy football freaks. Hey, sorry I'm so late on this. Dude, the technical issues this morning have been fucking crazy. Still experiencing some stuff, so there might be like a little bit of lag. I don't know if any of you are even going to show up this morning. And if you don't, I don't really blame you. I did let you know earlier, though, that there would be a show. I promised there would be. There is one. It's just we're going to do a short version here because I know that a lot of you are not even in, you're not even playing anymore. So, hey, what's up, Queenie? Erica, good morning. Hello, Tyrant gang, fellow playoff managers. Yeah, here we go. We got some playoff people up in here. Let's do it. I'm going to help you win your playoffs this week. Last week was, a little mixed bag. It's like it was crazy. Like for some people, I killed it for everybody, or killed it for everyone's questions. Okay. For some of you, I totally killed it for you, and you're here. That's why you're here. Some people, not so lucky. It's kind of a mixed bag, half and half this week. But a lot of weird, unpredictable shit happened. It was crazy week. It's probably gonna be like that again. But I've been honing in on some shit. So let's fucking do it. All right. So real quick though, I'm just gonna light this up. Game time, because that's what it is, folks. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's game time. So let's light it up. Here we go. Get your questions in there, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do this in a half hour. That's it. None of the streamers or sleepers this week. Just your questions to help you get into the championship round, because that's what it's about, folks. All right, so here we go. First off, Erica's got a question here. Let's go. Let's do it. Oh yeah, I got to do the ceremonial morning pour, of course, and also, hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, joyous Happy New Year, all that shit to everybody. Got the Santa hat going on here. You know what I'm saying? We're representing. It's a little bit fancy. I like it. Yeah. I'll get to that question in just a second here. I got my the Ralphie versus Scott Farkas ugly sweater T-shirt on. Your Christmas Story. I found out my mom doesn't like that movie this year. It pissed me off. Anyway, talk about Christmas stuff if you want. If you're not in the playoffs for whatever reason. But anyway, get your questions in there, and we're gonna talk. We got a lot of stuff going on. Okay. Multiple one. All right, I'm gonna get back to that. I'm gonna start off with Erica because she came first. Anyway, Kyle Pitts or Travis Kelce this week. We don't got Mahomes out there. Pitts blew it the fuck up last week. The thing is, we got Drake London coming back. So of course, which is probably why you're asking that, because if Drake London was out, then you probably already know that you'd be starting Pitts for sure. That's why you got the question, and I completely understand. I was thinking about that one because I figured that kind of thing would come up, because a lot of people have that, I've got Pitts, should I continue with them with Drake London coming back? What do I do with Kelce? So that kind of covers both of those questions that I was sort of anticipating would happen. Let me get that morning pour going out here. Got the Slayer from Ninkasi. Been drinking that all month, my favorite holiday beer, Slayer. It's like, metal meets Christmas. Yeah. Meets the Pacific Northwest. What's not to love? Here we go. To all of you this week, let's kill it. Let's make it to the championship week. I got a ton of teams waiting to get into that championship finals. Let's do it. All right. Travis Kelce, he's been kind of back and forth a lot, or sort of, in and out of, what am I saying? He's been off and on. He said good weeks, bad weeks. It hasn't been consistent. Inconsistent. There you go. He's been inconsistent, but it's almost like been consistent inconsistence. He's, good game, bad game, good game, bad game. We can't always go by that. In this case, though, I don't know. It's Gardner Minshew, he's not, it's not your grandma out there chucking him the ball. So I'm not as worried. But to be honest with you, it's not a bad matchup. I don't know, man. I'm going to stick with Kyle Pitts because even with London out there, he's coming back. They might be easing him in a little bit. So I'm going to go Kyle Pitts on that one. Travis Kelce, they don't have much to play for. He's trying to impress Taylor Swift maybe, but and they're out of contention, honestly. I'm going to go Kyle Pitts this week. Good question. Kirk Cousins or Dart? Can we trust Cousins again against Atlanta? It's not a bad matchup. I was talking earlier to people how I won a championship with Kirk Cousins coming out of nowhere when he was in Washington, and it's like sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you got to go with Kirk Cousins. In this case, it's not a bad option, but Dart has shown us that this is going to be a thing. And even against Minnesota, who, is tough against quarterbacks, I'm looking at his stuff. Yeah, Denver was tough against quarterbacks, but he fucking killed Denver early in the season. He's been matchup proof, so to speak. When he's had bad games, they haven't been necessarily against the top teams. So, honestly, between the two of them, it's a coin flip. It really is. If you want to go matchup, and usually that's what we want to do, we're going to go Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has the better matchup. We could, the game could be slowed down versus Minnesota. Teams not having much to play for there. I don't know. Could be garbage time too. Could be a big thing. But see, the thing is, with Atlanta, I think, are they out of contention already? Let me check that real quick. NFC South. I should know this. It's like I do, but I want to make sure so I'm not speaking out of turn. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they are. Well, now, you know what? Not really, because of that division. They could still win the division. They still got something to play for. I'm going to go Kirk Cousins based on that alone. They got more to play for. He's trying to get a fucking contract. He's trying to prove that he belongs there and not Penix. Yeah, go Kirk Cousins, 100%. Okay, multiple one here. Nick, good morning, Nick. Baker or Stroud? That's a good question. I think that Stroud will have a good game, but a good game for him even this year has been like, he's had some like really big games, but like when he has just like a good game, which is what I think he'll have, it's still less than 20 fantasy points. So that's been the problem with CJ Stroud. I have him as a QB2 in some of my dynasty leagues, and that works out pretty well. Last week against Arizona, he had a pretty damn good game. He had a great game. Do I expect him to repeat that this week? Probably not entirely, but it could be pretty good. I'd say he gets around 20 fantasy points, sure. Baker, that's the interesting thing. It's like, all right, so Baker has been, it's been turbulent with him, hasn't it? But he has, let's see, since week 6, he hasn't had a game over like 22 fantasy points. So it's like, and then, but he, on the other hand, he's had games, under 5 fantasy points. He's had 2 of those. So it's so volatile with him. And the thing is, they haven't faced Carolina yet this year, so we haven't seen how he'll play against them. On the road, he doesn't play as well on the road. Like, he played well against Seattle on the road, but other than that, it hasn't been very good for him on the road. I don't like it. So I'm going to go with Stroud this week. Just barely, though. It's like 20 points to like 18 points or something like that. But anyway, good question. I'm going with Stroud this week. Darren Waller Hawkinson. Hawkinson's been looking better lately. He has. I love Hawkinson. I'm a big Hawk guy. I was so pissed off that he's been kind of gone to the wayside for other guys. JJ McCarthy, of course, he's we haven't seen a lot of JJ to JJ. That's been frustrating for people. Addison's here and there. He's been nailing Naylor, and then once in a while it's Hawkinson. But I mean Waller. It's the Cincinnati Bengals have given up the most fantasy points to tight ends, and Waller's back, and they don't have. It's like him and Waddle for years to throw to, and we all know how it goes with young quarterbacks. They love that tight end. They love that it's like a security blanket for rookies. That shit, or young guys anyway. So, all those things together, I'm going to start Waller. Dude balled out last week. I think he can do so in arguably a better matchup this week. As good a matchup as it was last week. It's an even better one this week. So, yeah, I'm going to roll with Waller. PPR, Pittman, Williams, or Godwin. I'm flexing one. I'm going to go with, Jay Williams. Come on. Are we talking Java? Are we talking JMO? Either way, I'm going Jay Williams. Honestly, yeah. Either way, I'm going Jay Williams on that one. Good morning, y'all. What's up, Richie? He says Judkins or Carter, standard league. Yeah, so now that Bam's out, so Carter's got the ball there. So sucks that Benson never came back. Hopefully he comes back next year is a big thing. I got a lot of him in Dynasty. But anyway, so Judkins or Carter, yeah. Let me look it up here. Carter. So I was looking at what he did last time when he was, so last week against Houston, which is a pretty good defense. They're better against the pass than they are the run, but still though, he scores 13.4 fantasy points and he's getting targets. Look at his targets since week 11 here. You get 7, 3 is not very good. 6, 4, 4. So he's got a decent amount of targets. So in PPR, that's a little bit better. But you're asking about standard. See, that's like the big difference there. So in standard, let me look up Judkins' numbers here. Yeah, going up against Buffalo, who's actually, pretty weak against the rush. However, since Shedeur Sanders has taken over, it's been kind of tough for Judkins. I mean, he had a good game against San Francisco. But other than that, it's been rough going. Dude hasn't had touchdowns since week 12. Judkins, he's been getting, some of the carries. He's actually, they've been lower on attempts probably because they're losing and they need to come back, from behind. And Shedeur Sanders is trying to do what he's trying to do. I just with Sanders in there, it's really hard to trust. Honestly, I think I'm going to go with Carter this week over Judkins. It's a good matchup though, and that's the thing. But they're just not giving him the ball so much, and they're getting shut down. But I mean, even against Tennessee, he only got 14 carries for 26 yards. He hasn't been very efficient. Carter's been better when he's had the rock. So I'm going to go with Michael Carter this week. It goes against the grain because it seems like a better matchup for Judkins, but the numbers speak to me. The numbers is what speak to me, and I'm saying Carter seems to be the better option. In fact, his matchup's not bad against Atlanta or anything. It's kind of middle of the road. In fact, it's probably on the positive side of that. And considering what he did against Houston last week, and that Atlanta still had, Arizona doesn't have anything to play for, but other than pride, but they're at home. Carter wants to show that he has a place. Maybe wants to get in, a starting gig on another team or something like that. Probably won't, but you know what I mean. Like they still believe in themselves, right? I like Carter this week. Let me look at something else here. Hold on. See if I can bring up here. Like everything on paper says, hey, Judkins is the guy. But, you know, if you look at the numbers, it just makes more sense that Carter's the guy this week. Excuse me. I mean, the Browns don't have much to play for. That's the problem with Vivian right now. These teams don't have a lot to play for, but I'm going to lean toward Carter. If you want to go Judkins, I totally understand it. Because I said on paper, it looks better. But numbers-wise, Carter's been getting, more carries. He's not got a lot of competition for that. Let me pull up something here. Now, Dylan Sampson's out, which is, that's going to make a huge impact, I think. Although, I mean, if you look at his carries, like last week he only had 2. And then, a week before that, 4. I mean, he's not taking away too much. So, and Judkins is still just not doing shit with it. Let me pull up Sanders here for a second. So starting week 12, let's see. It's not like he's taking away too many rushes either. He's just trying to do a lot with the ball. Like, look at his pass attempts. Last couple of weeks, 35, 42. He's just trying to do it all because he wants to show that he's the guy. And I think, we could see a lot of that. I mean, Buffalo could get up real quick. Honestly, let me pull something up here. Yeah, I mean, when you look beyond, certain things like individual talent, yeah, of course, I think that Judkins is a better running back than Carter. But when you're looking at the scenarios, and not just like stats, oh, hey, this team's giving up the most this and this, but now we get into the nitty gritty, the end of the season. Okay, so you're looking at a Cleveland Browns team that's 3-11 going up against the 10-4 Buffalo Bills. They're going to be, the Browns are going to be needing to throw the ball. I think the Bills are going to be, they're ready to make that end of season run. That's how this works. It's cold weather. Buffalo Bills play better. There's just so many factors in. Yeah, I got to go with Carter on this one. It sounds crazy, but go with it. Good question. What's up, Daniel Martinez, Algier, Montgomery, Jordan? If Marks and Chubb don't play, what is going on with that? That's a good question. Do we have any updates on Woody Marks? He's listed as questionable, but he plans to play. So really, I'm not going to go. Definitely starting Marks if he plays, and he's planning to go. There's no reason to think that he's being held back. So yeah, I'm not going with Jordan. If I have to go with one of those guys, I kind of am leaning Algier. Monty's just kind of lost his way out of that offense, but it's between the two of them. He's been touchdown dependent. He's been getting them. He's got a touchdown each of the last 3 weeks. But if you take that touchdown away, it's been completely mediocre. He's had, taking away those touchdowns, he still has under 10. He would have under 10 fantasy points the last 3 weeks, and he had under 10 last week, even with the touchdown. That's why it's like, okay, so with Algier, that it ain't a split backfield or anything, but they like to utilize him a lot. Although last week he only had 2 carries for 18 yards. So, we can factor that in. But, I mean, for the most of the time, like, okay, so when he doesn't have a touchdown, yeah, he's, I guess, a little bit touchdown dependent too, isn't he? But he's getting a lot more. I mean, dude's been fucking killing it. Last 2 weeks, not so much. It's really a toss-up between Algier and Montgomery, honestly. Algier is in a better matchup, but of course he's got Bijan ahead of him, obviously. Monty, he's got a decent man. He's got Chubb ahead of him. So it's kind of a coin flip. Actually, Pittsburgh is pretty good against the run. So for that reason, I'm going to get the slight edge to Algier this week. Good question, though. Richie, what's up? Judkins or Carter? Wait, didn't I already? Oh, in PPR as well. Okay, so you got one in standard, one in PPR. I think I'm just going to go Carter on both for sure. Schultz over Theo Johnson, PPR. Let me look at something real quick. Hold on. I've been a big fan of Theo Johnson. I think he's been underrated. Not a good matchup for Schultz, honestly. It might be going Johnson this week. Yeah, Minnesota's like middling against tight ends. I don't know. I mean, it's been another kind of back and forth thing with him too. You can't really go with that. Um, just because of the better matchup, I probably leaning Johnson there, but because I mean, look at Schultz. Even though he's like, so he's been, excuse me, he's been matchup based. Schultz has been all season long. Other than Week 5 against Baltimore, it's been pretty consistently matchup based. Well, actually, for the most part, I'd say since Week 7, since he came out of the bye, he's been easily matchup based when you look at it, and he's got a bad matchup this week. So all right, now we're back. So I don't know what the fuck happened there. That internet went out or something. Hopefully you're all still here. All right, so Schultz, I'm going Theo Johnson, like I said on that. If you can get that, Mayfield, I answered that earlier for someone else actually, and I'm going with Dart this week. Right, am I benching Genty this week for Warren or Vidal? Uh, Probably Warren if you are. I don't mind the idea of benching Genty, but you don't have much there to go with. Uh, I mean, Warren has not. He's been giving up a lot to Gainwell, and he's got a terrible matchup this week. And then, of course, Vidal splitting it with Hampton, although the matchup's really good. And so he's okay. So last week he had 12 carries. The last couple weeks he had 12 and 14 carries. Basically, since Hampton's come back, he's down. Meanwhile, Hampton, let's take a look here, who's obviously a better back, but it's almost a split 12, 14, 13, 15. It's like an exact split, honestly. So that's really hard to go with. Warren, it's almost the same thing, right? He had 8 and 12 last 3 weeks, 10 carries, 8 carries, 12 carries. 4 targets, 3 targets, 3 targets, 2, 3, 3 in receptions. Okay. Versus Gainwell. Let me get his numbers up. 5 carries, 4 carries, 13 carries last week. But then see, you go over the receiving, 3 targets, 7 targets, 7 targets. That's 2 receptions, 6 receptions, and 7 receptions last 2 weeks. 13 receptions over the last 2 weeks. He had 13 carries last week. They're just trusting him a lot more. So I guess my answer is no. In this situation, I think I'm starting Genty. Because let's look at Genti. Now, Houston, like I said, they're better at defending the pass than they are the run. And Genti's going to, they want to see what he has. The Raiders obviously have nothing to play for. So they want to see what he has. They're probably going to, start running him a lot. He's getting some targets too. And that's a big thing. Now, of course, those targets are from Geno, and that's not been very good. But I'm just going to throw Genti out there because really, honestly, you're not getting much out of any of those guys. So if you need to start one, I'm starting with somebody who has a higher upside, and I think it's Genti there. We're going to rush through the rest of these and get out of here. Tet or Wilson? I like Tet. Marv's back in. There you go. Hampton or Judkins? I'm going to go Hampton on that one. Barely over Judkins. Just because I just don't think it's going to be a good week for him. Arizona may suck, but they give us fancy points. Less Brissett for changing it. Yeah, absolutely. Brissett's been on fire. If you can get him for the championship week, he faces Cincinnati. Stash him. He's a good stash if you don't get him. Good morning, Don. What's up? Bowers or Waller? Oh, man, are we really starting Waller over Bowers? It's sad. It's sad. Houston's really good against tight ends. Bowers or Waller? I got you know what? I hate to do it, but I gotta go Waller. He's just got such a great matchup this week, and such a bad matchup for Bowers. It just doesn't look good. Last week he had a bad matchup too. Didn't do too much. 8.8 fantasy points in PPR. They're just getting their ass handed to them. They know what they have in Bowers. They might hold him back a bit. So I'm going to go Waller on that one. Aaron Jones and McConkey. Oh, man, it's been rough going for McConkey. It could be McConkey. If you want to go upside, if you need the upside, go McConkey. If you need the solid points, go Aaron Jones. That's how I'm going with that one. It's just been so rough with McConkey, I can't really, I thought it was me. Yeah, I know. I think you missed my other question. Did I? Because I swear I answered it, but I ask it again. PSA, Woody Marks is not expected to play today. Are you serious? I just saw that he was. Did that change that damn quick? Let's take a look here. I'm trying to find updates on this. The same planning to play Sunday. Injury report. Let's take a look here. Let's see. Yeah, Marks is out just 2 minutes ago. Hold on. Did I get that? I didn't get. Yeah, I'm not getting that here. Where'd you see that at? I'm trying to find that information because I want to make sure that's correct. What was that question about that earlier? Let's see if I can find it. George. Well, I mean, if Marks is out, start Jordan. Daniel, if you're still on, probably not, but yeah. I mean, I guess you're starting Jordan if Marks is out. I didn't see anything about it. Facebook and ESPN says it. Well, I'm not seeing it. Okay. I don't see that. I mean, I totally believe you if you're saying that. Okay, Woody Marks plans to play. This is an hour ago. Sleeper announced it. I'm not seeing it. I don't have it on sleeper. What the hell? Why am I not getting that? Hold on, let me look it up here. As I'll believe it, if I see it. I'm not saying I don't believe you. I'm saying I haven't seen it. I'm still seeing Woody Marks as being questionable on sleeper. That's frustrating. Yeah, I don't. Can you send I don't. It's also on sleeper. So both you and Richie are saying that hey, I totally believe you 100%. I'm just not seeing it. Because if I look up, whenever I look up Woody Marks, I still see questionable and likely to play. So again, all right, you're gonna send me a pic. I'd like to see it. I'll send it to you in text. I got both of you, two guys working on it. Thanks, fellas. Hold on, I'm gonna try to see where's the fucking. So I'm trying to get the information here. I rely on a lot of different sources that are usually pretty quick and on it and good, but it seems like they screwed the pooch on me here with this the Woody Marks thing. Weird. All right. Her rap sheet. Oh, Rappaport. Okay. Let me look that up real quick. Is it on Facebook? You help us, we help you. Yay. Thank you. Let's see. There we go. It's on Twitter or X, whatever. Ian Rappaport says, Woody Marks is expected to be inactive today, so expect plenty of Nick Chubb. Okay, so Nick Chubb is playing, so I'll take that back. I guess we're starting Nick Chubb. Those of you who have Nick Chubb, start him up. It should be, unless you have better options, which actually you probably do. You're probably not really starting them. But in that case, back to the other question there, Daniel Martinez. You're probably still not watching, but whatever. Then yeah, I'm still going to go with Algier barely over Monty. Anyway, so we got that figured out. Thank you, everyone. Listen, love you all as usual. This is a big week. Get out there and kill it. Make it to your championship. I'm still going to be on for the few of you that are left next week. I'll still be here. I'll still have the Christmas decorations up. I ain't going to be wearing the Santa hat. But hey, listen, everybody, love you all. Have a very, very Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, all that stuff. And we'll see you next week for the championship week, all right? Go out there and crush it. Hey, missed my question. What was your question? Oh, shit. I see it. Okay. Flex PPR, Higgins, Hunt, Coker, Kelsey, Schultz. I'm going Higgins. T. Higgins. Let's do it. He's playing this week, right? That's who you're talking about. Not Jaden Higgins, T. Higgins. Because he's playing this week. He's going against Miami. I like T. Higgins. I'm playing him. If it's Jaden Higgins, well then, thank you. Have a good day, he says. Nick, Jaden. Okay, see? There you go. That makes a whole lot of difference there, actually. It might be the same answer. It's really between Higgins and Coker. So let's pull up Jaden Higgins. I'll get it to you real quick, bro. Don't you worry. We're going to look this up. I mean, it's a good matchup, but is that really going to matter? It's just whether or not he's going to get any targets. That's the problem. With Coker, kind of almost the same issue, except the thing is, yeah, he's been getting more targets. So I'm going to go with Coker. I'm going to that almost sound like the Joker, like oh, Batman. This week the Joker's going with the Coker. Anyway, Yeah, we're going with Jalen Coker this week. The Joker and I both. So anyway, yeah, Merry Christmas to you all, and all the other shit. Happy holidays, however you want to say it. Here's to you all. Have a happy, safe, fun holiday, and I'll see you next week. Good luck in your matchups. There you go. Championship. Let's go get it, folks. Love you all. Have a happy and safe holiday. Until next week, I'm out. Peace.